Yeah, I don't think most people realize they can grow sugar in their backyard. Or in my case, my front and back. In less than a year, y'all, this plant will give me sweetness, give my garden protection. This right here is a 4-pack, as well as a tropical energy I can juice into a natural Gatorade. Actually, way better than Gatorade. If I didn't mention, y'all, this is sugarcane. In my opinion, way better than stevia, with the nutritional benefits to back it up. However, the main reason I'm growing my sugarcane up here is more so for its functional use. What I'm gonna be doing right now, y'all, is actually planning out my sugarcane, more so for privacy between me and my friend Maverick. I'll still say what's up to him. This right here, y'all, is one of the most handiest tools I've ever had when it comes to laying my PVC piping for irrigation and when it comes to growing my sugarcane. Man, of course, just like anything else, you want to remove all the rocks, whatever other obstructions you can, so that it has enough room to send down its roots. I'm going down cool half a foot to a foot. You want to definitely take off any dying pieces. I've seen people plant them out that have like these little scorings like this. There's something that's telling me that this is dead. I'm gonna just throw caution to the wind. Yeah, see that? That's pretty intense. I don't want that in there. I don't know how well that's gonna do. So we'll cut it down. We'll drop it inside the trench. And just utilize it as is. Those out there are showing me roots already. And I'll put it right in. As these prawns begin to open and then dry, what will end up happening is that they'll create a great mulch. As they are drying in, I more than likely will start throwing them down on the garden. I'm keeping my sugarcane, whatever this is, apart. Should go get my tape measure. Say to keep it right about 3 foot apart. You know how we do around here, man. You can't always be worrying about what they say. I'm doing my best, however, to kind of stay right about 2 feet apart, maybe even 3. This by far is going to be the easiest way that you can ever plant out sugarcane. Find your nodes. A lot of times they're going to alternate. 1, 2, right? And then you just plant them right in that trench. Idea is to never bury your node. Yeah, there it is. I'll lightly cover the cane. I'm not going as deep as the trench. Once again, it's nature, so it's into the path of least resistance at all times. I just put them right on top of that, y'all. It's very loose, so new canes from this plant is not gonna have any problem. They're gonna be able to pop right out of that. Sugarcane is only really viable for 5 years. As it gets closer to the end of its life cycle, it starts to lose its sweetness. So what I'm gonna do, make space for succession. So about 2 years in between these 2 rows, I'll plan out this row, make a new trench here. For this row, I'll make another trench here. And then after that, y'all, more than likely, I'll just move this sugarcane altogether. Seeing that we're constantly adding more compost to this and other organic matter, this sugarcane is going to do very well here. Sugarcane grows pretty good in all zones, although it doesn't like it where it's too cold. Remember, it's tropical. It is kind of resilient. You are primarily in a cold region. I would suggest keeping it in a pot. It does actually pretty well. Kind of the biggest thing is making sure it gets enough moisture. But if you got the moisture around, it'd probably be that much easier. You just have to now add the heat. Around here, y'all, diversity is the name of the game. So with that, I have to think, how do things want to grow? Because certain things just don't interplant well together. And so what I've done was add another drip irrigation line that's on a completely different zone. In the hotter times of the year, y'all, I can actually engage that zone so my sugarcane gets an adequate amount of water. My system here is based on more so off of a market garden. It does generate revenue. These rows, this time around, it's gonna be mainly arugula, probably some other auxiliary crops. That being said, the arugula and the sugarcane don't need the same amount of watering. Sprayers are mainly for the arugula and other leafy greens. Seeing that I'm going to be watering them, I might as well take advantage, allow these sprayers to hit this section where the sugarcane is as well, so that I get even more watering where I know the sugarcane, it actually wants the water. Every year, I lose all the pluots on this tree because of the wind. Flowers beautifully, begins to set fruit beautifully. I don't know if you guys can see that. However, we get one gnarly windstorm, which we're known for here, and a lot of my fruit go away. I've actually kicked the watering up on those just to give it a little extra boost. And hopefully that helps as well. Sugarcane are really gonna add into blocking my pluots back there from the prevailing winds that we get every single year, several times a year. Now where a lot of the magic's gonna come in around this area, y'all, plant them right next to this nasturtium, right at the edge, right here, y'all. This edge is gonna offer the sugarcane a lot more nutrients. It's also gonna offer it a lot more moisture, just because of the green cover of the nasturtium that keep things moist right underneath them. When it comes to sugarcane and other tropicals, That's kind of, to me, that's one of the best kind of mulches you can really ever ask for. Yeah, look at all this. It has all this awesome mulch already coming around. This area is still relatively moist, even though I pushed these things back yesterday. What I'm gonna do is just do my best to get as much of this cane out. See all those roots and everything like that? Then you can even see there's one right there. It's growing underneath on it, more like that. This will easily bend. Because I'm actually making a bit of a trough here, y'all, the chances of me being able to catch more nutrients for the sugarcane is even more likely. So this is really cool. Look at that size. Ooh, look at that. This thing was doing fantastic. Best way to save a lot of your sugarcane is just in a 10-20, lay everything horizontal the same way as you would plant it onto the ground.
Get far less
of any of the drying. It's another way to check the viability as well. If you guys want to take a look at how I started each one of these, I go into a lot more detail there. I'll put a link at the end of this video if you guys are interested. Eventually this nasturtium is going to give out during the hotter parts of the year. We still do have a hose over here as well for the watering. I find it interesting. So you have a bunch of roots coming over here. However, you have a clear node getting ready to pop there with no roots underneath. Unless, of course, I somehow or another just knocked them off. But I might have. I don't feel as though I did. I didn't see anything in there. I've already proven that one node can actually give you a cane, at least enough for myself. And then Dave the Good did a whole thing too, so big up to Dave the Good. If you guys aren't on that channel, definitely want to get on. To harvest sugarcane, all you need is a pair of loppers or a machete. You just want to make sure that they're sharp and hit it down at the base. I'll leave 1 or 2 nodes exposed and allow it to start growing from that point on until I learn something different. That's the plan. So the majority of this stuff, however, I'm growing for my sugarcane press. Be able to use the sugarcane as a natural sweetener for my coffee and other drinks. Sugarcane in a nutshell. Thank you guys for watching. Grow some sugarcane. Definite, very, very, very important one, especially in our culture, to our species, because we like sugar and we like nutrients and we want to get away with eating what tastes good for us. And sugarcane, it checks all those boxes. A great one to have in your garden. Hope this helps. Peace.